Welcome to the Startup Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, the host of the show, where we talk about raising funding for your startup and the time it takes to have an espresso. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot at startup funding and investing. The verbatim effect is defined by Wikipedia as the gist of what someone has said is better remembered than the verbatim wording. Catchphrases and taglines will help investors remember your startup and what it does. Investors remember the essential meaning rather than the specific words you say in a pitch. They will retain the core information but will lose the details. Focus your pitch on the core elements of the deal, including the core team, core product, and the core strategy. Fine details will get lost in the process as the investor will only remember the core elements. Avoid multiple scenarios in your pitch and instead focus on the primary scenario, as investors will only retain one. In the deck, use images, charts, and graphs wherever possible to help communicate those messages. Use mantras, taglines, and catchphrases to communicate those core messages. Make the headlines clear, bold, and compelling. If a detail is important to the pitch, then call it out as such and make it a part of the core message. Investors will only remember the gist of the presentation, so gear your pitch to highlight the core concepts and skip the extraneous details. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start something today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.